my legal warrior, and today we have Rafael Hurtado. He is a employment law attorney here in San Diego, and he's appearing as a special guest for our No Lives Matter Unless series. And he's devoted his career as a lawyer and community advocate as a vehicle through which he experiences in continuous growth, service, and joy. He's a partner at Abogato LLP, representing Spanish-speaking workers in employment law matters. He is the current president of the San Diego Law Raza Lawyers Association, and he was the general counsel to Mana de San Diego, a fellow to the San Diego Leadership Alliance, and was a contract attorney and volunteer for the Legal Aid Society. He was awarded the President's Award from Mana de San Diego, Outstanding Service by a New Lawyer through the San Diego County Bar Association, and the Outstanding Service Award from the Legal Aid Society. Lastly, he enjoys cooking, cycling, traveling, and engaging in international relations. Thank you, Rafael, for appearing on No Lives Matter Unless. How are you doing today?
Good. Thank you for having me. I appreciate what you're doing.
Well, I definitely appreciate, us being able to collaborate on this for our viewership. Rafael and I had actually met through Lawyers Club and in collaborating and putting together the read-ins at Central Elementary here in San Diego. And, maybe he'll get into a little bit as to how we fight against systematic racism just through that alone. And given his experience thus far, everything that he does is clearly devoted to fighting against systematic racism and fighting for this vulnerable population. So with that being said, how are you using your business and or socioeconomic status to further fight against systematic racism?
For the business side, like you said, we practice plaintiff's employment law. So what that means is representing employees who are either victims of wage theft or who have been discriminated or retaliated against in the workplace. We do cater to Spanish speakers because my law partner, our assistant, and I all speak Spanish. And unfortunately in San Diego, there are very few plaintiff's employment lawyers that speak Spanish. We have gotten to know a few others recently, and so we're hopeful that there may be more attorneys that can service the Spanish-speaking population, but really us just existing as a law firm is already one resource and benefit that the community can go to. We are a small firm, and so we're not able to take very many cases. We have to be selective with the cases that we do take, but we do talk to hundreds of people every year, and we do spend at least half an hour or 15 minutes with them and help guide them and point them in the right direction of somewhere else where they can go get help they didn't realize that they had. And I know I've been told numerous times that they really do appreciate that, and so that's one way that we can use our firm as a resource for our community. As far as the socioeconomic status, I think I'm having a moment to be very frank about realizing just how far I've come and the privilege that I've gained. I think as a Latino lawyer and as a young Latino lawyer, and first generation, gaining this level of education in my family, I was in sort of a survival mode for many of these years and feeling like I had to get to a position. But during recent times, I've realized that I have come very far, and that now I'm in a point where I have the ability to effectuate change in a good way, and so I'm using my knowledge and my education and my time right now to, number one, just try to understand how I fit in the bigger picture. Really take stock of where I'm at and where I fit and what change I can effectuate. So I've been searching for ways to focus and grow on my strengths and really be intentional about using my strengths to help community, and especially those that otherwise wouldn't that may struggle a little bit more, or they don't have the same resources that others may have. Well, one more thing actually is just taking the time to listen and to really understand. I think as lawyers, we're geared to want to do, and that's great, and we can do. But we also sometimes have to take a step to just really listen to others and reflect, and then sort of recalibrate and make sure that we're going in the right direction.
So, how has the current events impacted your presidency with La Raza?
Yeah, so La Raza's mission is to empower the Latino bar and the Latino judiciary here in San Diego, but it's also to empower the greater Latino community. Much of what we do is in-person events. And so that usually means like networking events for lawyers, mentoring and networking events for young lawyers, know your rights presentations for the community, really a lot of in-person stuff. And so, of course, the coronavirus pandemic just really put a halt on all of that. So it slowed everything down. At first, I think we all needed to take some time to just understand what was happening. So we just paused. And then we started to reflect on how is it that we can adapt and move forward. And we're slowly starting to do that through the use of technology like we are now. We were able to have, through the scholarship fund arm of La Raza, have a graduation ceremony for the graduates, for the La Raza graduates here in San Diego of our 3 law schools. And I actually think we had students from other law schools around the state. And so we had judges Garcia and Alvarez of the San Diego Superior Court be commencement speakers. And it was really great to see the students and their families, sitting in their living rooms, but at the same time being really proud of what their sons and daughters have just accomplished. And another way is catering to our attorney members and trying to empower them with the questions that we all now have, right? How do we use the technology to continue our practices? And one of those is we'll have to do things like remote depositions. So George Rios, had one of our directors. He had the great idea of putting on CLE, a webinar for remote depositions. So we had John Gomez, Aptis Court Reporting, and Elvira Cortez, who's the president of Lawyers Club, give a presentation on that for our members and for our greater community as well. And other than that, I think we're just continuing to search for ways to grow and make sure that we continue on our mission.
Excellent. So how can our viewership get a hold of you for more information, not only just to further the discussion on systematic racism or to get involved with La Raza, but also if they were looking for an employment law attorney?
The best way to reach me is usually via email. My email is rafael@abogatolegal.com. That's RAFAEL at ABOGATOLEGAL.com. And I can connect you either with us through La Raza, or I can try to be of help in the employment side. Our office number is 619-919-6360. I did want to mention one more thing about La Raza, and you hit on it at the beginning, was the City Heights, the Central Elementary School read-ins that we do. And like you said, we met, that is one way that we use not just our socioeconomic status, but also our organizations like La Raza and Lawyers Club to try to at least make a dent in the systemic racism that we see, or inequality in our society, right? So Lawyers Club, which is an organization that empowers women, and then La Raza, an organization that empowers Latinos. We go into Central Elementary School, which is in the City Heights neighborhood, very rich and diverse neighborhood, but one of the more neighborhoods that lacks in resources. And we go there and we just introduce ourselves to the students. We take some time to read with them, to have fun with them, And then also just teach them about being a professional and specifically a lawyer. Any of them won't know any lawyers or get to see any lawyers aside from us, aside from that 1 hour twice a year. So we really try to be intentional during that time and introduce them to the profession and show them that Latinos like them, most of the students are Latinos, and other minorities, and also women. So the girls who tend to actually be very shy in the classroom can see very vibrant and professional women and Latinos that are just thriving in San Diego.
Yeah, thank you for touching on that. Thank you for educating and not only inspiring, but also empowering us to make, I guess, a positive change in our community. And if individuals wanted to get a hold of Rafael, we'll go ahead and provide that information and could get in touch with him through or for La Raza or just any assistance in regards to any employment law issues. All right. Well, thank you so much, Rafael, and thank you, Warriors, for listening in.
Thank you.